Good evening, I'm Zarganath and welcome to my studio. So we will be doing some more work on this Gibberer and do the other ear. We've done one of them, we'll do the other. Which in principle shouldn't be too hard, although this one is more hidden behind hair, which could make it more interesting, as they say. Okay, so that's his ear. Right, so this is power tool time. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. So we will be using the power tool for this. It's going to be interesting just because of the amount of space that's in there. There isn't a lot of it. So I'm just doing mainly at the moment here is just carving this down, reducing the height. The ear's in the background, so it wants to be in the background. I've used a chisel around there. Just because it's the edge of the frame is not defined. So I get a smoother outcome using the chisel than I would using the power tool. Okay, and now back to the power tool. So now I'm just shaping this edge of the ear. Okay. Actually, before I continue doing that, I'll do something else. I was hollowing out underneath that hair, but that's a bad idea at this point. And it's a bad idea at this point because I'm going to carve that fur tuft. And I will break into that hollowed out area if I do it sooner than if I hollow it out before I've done the carving over the top of it. Kind of being a little bit lazy here because I should use the chisel for this. You know what? I should use the chisel for it. I'm going to use the chisel for it. I should use, and I'm going to use a gouge. Probably should use a slightly shallower gouge than this, but this will do the job. I'm using a gouge or a U-shaped gouge here because I'm trying to do the inside of a curve. So a flat chisel basically won't do it. You can do the outside of a curve with a flat chisel, but you can't do the inside. That'll do for that. Now back to this. The ear tip is about there. Now doing this area here will be a bit harder to do with a chisel, which is why I'm using the power tool on it. carve down the ear and then with an actual chisel, and we'll come back to and we'll fight the wood grain at the same time, you know, just to make it interesting. Give that a bit of a charge. Oh dear. Getting my words all mixed up, aren't I? A little bit of a polish, clean, sharpen, hone. I'll get there in the end. Okay, the ear's not bad, so I'm doing now is shape it. So, rather like a cat, we're going to make the ear sort of cone shaped or curved. Wood split there, because I'm carving so close to the grain direction. So because of that, what I'm actually doing now is shaving. I'm using the chisel more like a knife. But I'm sliding it sort of sideways. Okay, so now what I do is I go in there now. And do a bit more shaping. I was about to change tools. Okay, now we're going to power tool again. Laser, good evening, and Wolfie, hello! And welcome to you both this evening. I trust you are both well and lurking, that's not a problem. Hey Wolfie, don't you stay up late! You're confused? Well, I mean last night or this morning you had to be up at least 2 AM watching Twitch. I mean, I was watching the playback last night of Slumber Dragon, or a little bit of it. And by the time it was saying 1 AM my time, you were still there chatting. I had to do all the stuff at work, so I stopped the stream at that point, but that's got to be at least 2 AM your time. Even when I was young, I didn't stay up that late very often, till 4 AM. I don't know you. I don't know how you manage it. Actually, I do. It's interesting what you're doing, and that time just disappears. But even when I was younger, it wasn't that often I stayed up much past 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. Occasionally, whilst I was working, I spent a night in a hotel room, literally a night, because I didn't sleep, but working all night to a deadline. And once for amateur radio, for a competition I stayed up all night, but I'm not sure. I wasn't taking a fantastic amount of notice, actually, Wolfie. The bit last bit I recall bug-wise was you'd sent him a picture and somehow the text had got missing off the bottom. Yeah, but that's your job. That's his job as well. I did see you trying to get him, trying to persuade him to get other devs to give you a job. Go muscles! You don't stream, you said so. You'll also notice what I did say about streaming is about following people. Is I follow people that do things that I find interesting, not just because they follow me or things like that. So I'll wait and see what you stream before I decide whether to follow you or not. Once in a blue moon. There's one of those this month. So at what point this month are you, because you've only got today and tomorrow night to do it. And core muscles, it's a good job I'm not using a Dremel, because if I was, you'd want to mute the mute. Because believe me, this is quiet. Yet. Just you wait till you stream and you forget your microphone. Now you see, I do it because I get all prepared early. I start the stream, I test things, and I mutate whilst it's showing the start screen so that I can make noise and hoover or vacuum, whatever, without sort of damaging poor con muscles' ears there. I didn't follow because you ain't started streaming yet. We can go through that that sequence all day. Right, yeah. Now one of these is, that's V. You now have a strawberry writer. Ooh, blimey. You're getting all professional now. Of course, you'd have to be streaming at a time when I'm not for me to actually come and watch you. But people doing software development on Twitch do seem to be somewhat popular. just been doing that with the larger one. Well, that's what, that'll be about 11 o'clock here UK time. Well, at the very least you might get me having it on whilst I work. Demon Kron, thank you very much for the follow, that's most kind of you. Welcome to the studio. Well, that's a good attitude to have, and I'm not joking, I'm being serious. Stream for yourself, not for who may or may not watch you. Yeah. Yeah, come muscles. So do I. I tell you what, if you can find me a picture of one, I mean, I'm sure it looks similar to this, but I mean, for domestic, would it have such big teeth? I don't know. You already know what sort of person I am, Wolfie. I'm a very busy person that only watches streams at work when I'm not... well, sorry, I only have streams on at work when I'm not needing to concentrate on something, or I'm not on a conference call, something like that. Top hat on my iPad. Actually, yeah. Yeah, I'm carving this with a V-gouge. I really kind of shouldn't, but the reason I'm doing it is because I don't actually know how deep I want to go. And if I do it this way, I can stop and the job's done. Sort of. If I carve it with a gouge down, then it's when I think I've got deep enough, I'm probably too deep, because then I've got to put the hair on top, and that might then, you know, and putting the hair on top, so to speak, makes it deeper. So I'm kind of hedging my bets a little bit here, not taking the risk. I'm doing it sort of a not exactly a cheaty way, but a way that makes it less risky. Not generally speaking, no, core muscles. I actually personally like the way in which the wood sort of ages and feels once it's been carved, and I like the look of it, so I haven't. If I was selling it, I don't know, it would probably be worth putting a lacquer on it of some kind, or a clear coat of some kind, to act as a bit like a wood preservative, you know, stop moisture getting at the wood, that sort of thing, or even just dirt ingress, because dirt and dust settles on it and it eventually gets into the top surface of the wood. So I probably would for commercial purposes, but generally speaking, no, I like the wood as it is. So I don't even sand it. So I mean, I wouldn't sand obviously the hair, but the smooth areas I don't sand, because what I tend to find if I sand is that the sand, the fine wood dust gets into the pores of the wood and makes it sort of light and not look very nice from my personal view. So I tend to avoid sanding as well. I kind of, with the pyrography, I should coat that with a UV protective coating as well, but I've not bothered with those either. Now, one thing that I did do, I actually thought a little bit ahead, was when I cut this on the inside, I didn't actually cut it as thin as I want it, because I knew I was going to do this. And in doing this, it can be quite difficult to avoid just pushing the chisel into the edge there, which marks it. So by leaving it a little bit thicker than I want, those marks I can actually sort of carve out. Switch to this one. I'm just thinking, one of the only time I've actually put anything on, I don't put stain on, but I potentially could. I guess I've done twice. I've done two different things. With Amber the Owl, one thing we did do is apply a little bit of pyrography. So not really a protective coating of any kind, but that just for the blacks of the eyes and like the bit of definition on the beak and the talons. And the first carving that I did on stream, we actually painted. The stream decided it would be good to paint it, so I did. Stain's an interesting one. It's the problem with stain is either getting different colours of stain if you want to actually colour something, or doing it sort of like a monochrome type thing where you are using different, like mahogany stain or walnut stain, these sorts of things, so you get slightly different colours. But that's for colouring purposes rather than staining it just for protective purposes. What I'm doing now is just carving the lips, reducing the height. Basically, I'm taking this further deeper into the background, carving downwards so it curves the face. But so I don't lose all my guidelines, I'm doing it in bits. And this bit, of course, is the most awkward bit because of the grain angle. So once I've carved this, which is a lips, what I can then do is carve the gums down and the teeth down, probably the teeth first. And then, again, doing it that way, I keep all the guidelines. Okay, touch of power for that area. So they're just rather than struggle with the chisel. And struggling with the chisel just because of the grain angle. Again, it doesn't. When you get to the particular thing here, the wood is essentially not cutting the wood. I'm just pushing it out of the way, which is not very good.
No sound. If you come up short, it will come around. If you're too far up, just come down. Get what you give and take what you need. No need to take sides, just feel in between. Find your place.
Okay.
In serenity. Find joy. Inner melody. Find your place. In serenity.
Yeah, back to the bigger chisel. So now that I've got sort of where the lips are, what I can then do is carve away from their position where they are now. By doing this sort of progressive carving, I can save myself a lot of trouble having to keep sort of either redrawing the reference onto the wood surface or sort of spending time studying the reference picture coming backwards and forwards. So it's starting to take shape now, even if it is at sort of odd places, but that's just how these sorts of things go. So this is just really random lines. I'm not particularly going to any, for any particular place. I'm going in the particular direction. I'm not after any particular place. And indeed, the more random I can make it, the better it actually looks. Also, not particularly looking a lot to get great big chunks off. Are kind of smaller cuts are actually sort of better in this respect, or partially better, because you get a little bit more interest than sort of just large V grooves. With enough sort of small lines in there, it kind of looks more like hair. And then just the occasional big groove just sort of looks like a clump. Once I get down to roughly the right sort of depth, I can then do the odd curl and things like that, just to add a little bit more interest to the texture. I suppose this fella kind of really is kind of like a ball of fur. Which is slightly amusing because we tend to call Theo a ginger ball of fur. But Theo's a lot more friendly looking than this fella. Now as I come around here, I do need to bring the fur up. I mean, it is sort of up anyway, in sort of above the mouth, but I've got to bring it up because it's over the top of this sort of plinth that he's on. So I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do this, but we're going to find out. Yeah, I'm going to carve this deep enough to have some sort of effect, but I don't want to go too deep on it because I don't want to take this down, the mouth down too far. These 2 points here are about the highest points. I kind of want to stay roughly within, you know, without cutting those down too much. Okay. So I just looked at this and thought I made a mistake by having a straight line there.
They talk about another kind of world. Another kind of world.
What are you afraid of?
Because the fur kind of isn't straight, you know, it's
I'm lost in old ways.
overhangs and
I'm not afraid.
Well, here goes nothing.
that will kind of like require reverse carving. Yeah, I have to think about the best way of dealing with that. What I mean by reverse carving is carve this onto here rather than onto there, so that I get an effect that, well, I suppose if I undercut somehow, I don't know, you've got to try and get in some way an effect of the hair going over the top without having too straight an edge. That's the key thing, not having that straight edge that I had there.
I'm lost in old ways. I'm not afraid. Just listen.
In here, carving the lips, because that gives me the level that I'm wanting to achieve. I'm taking it quite lightly here because it's very easy with a gouge to dig in, and I don't actually only want to take a sort of a shaving at this point around here. I'll be quite light with it, so I don't want it to dig in. Thank you very much, Wolfie. Of course, that's only so far. I've still got plenty of time to ruin it. Now I have to spend a little bit of time using a U-shaped chisel to get out the U-shaped grooves that it's created. Normally what you do is you switch to a wider chisel. Makes it easier then to get rid of the chisel marks. Part of the problem would be getting a larger chisel into this space. So it becomes all about taking fine cuts. Although at this point I should stop and go back to carving the hair. Time is getting on, as they say. Well, I definitely didn't mean for that to happen. And nearly dropped my glasses off as well. So one thing I want to try and do at this edge here, if I can, well, across all these edges actually, is that the edges themselves are too smooth. By which, what I mean by that is I've got a line down there, which I don't really want to have a line down there. So at the moment it looks kind of like artificial hair, just because the edge of it is so regular. What I'm trying to do now is just break up the outline. And effectively what I'm going to have to do is just carve this into the background. So carve the hair down so that it actually hits the background. It also allows me to actually extend some of the hairs a little bit, so it looks less like I've just not quite sure how I would have avoided that, which is something to think about for the future if I did another hairy beast. How do I not get what looks to be something you've just hived off? Kind of looks like the sort of look is you might have cut it out of a book or a magazine and you've cut around the sides, so it's got a nice clean edge, as opposed to having a real hairy edge like people have with their hair. The same with that as well. See, down just this little bit here, I kind of left a couple of cutout, jagged end bits, so that doesn't look actually quite as bad. This bit is a bit too proud. Actually, so okay, we'll leave that for the moment. Okay, now then, what I can do with a chisel like this is I can tip it on its side. It's a V gouge, but it is possible sometimes to tip them on the sides and use them like a flat chisel. So like here, because I can't, well, in most of this area here I can't get the flat chisel in because it's too big, too wide. What I can do is use the chisel like a U gouge, or in this case a V, on its side, and I can use that to help get rid of some of the marks. But you've got to be really light doing this because it digs in. That's its job. Okay, well that's not bad. Yeah. I'm looking at that foot. So we've got in the card. There's a foot there. It's kind of subtle, and I might not bother with it just because it's not easy to see, and it doesn't necessarily add much. Yeah, I think we may well leave that out, but now these small chisels like the V gouge and this U gouge are really rather nice because they're quite manoeuvrable. So you can quite easily go sort of round shapes with them quite easily. The bigger chisels are less manoeuvrable. But there again, you wouldn't use one of the bigger chisels on this area here, so you'd use it on a bigger area. And I suppose then the manoeuvrability is kind of relative. Sorry I'm covering up the work, but I kind of, well, I suppose to do that, I was going to say I kind of had to carve in that direction, which is perfectly true, but I guess I could have turned the work so that my hand wasn't covering up. Now, the nose there is about the peak. That's a little bit too shallow. Okay. What I have to do here, he says, thinking, is carve this down and then come back, and if it still is too shallow, adjust it afterwards, rather than trying to get it perfect now when I can't actually see it in the perspective. Okay, I've got a bit more time, so what do I do here is carve down the cheeks, sorry, the gum. Whew. Why are you running up and downstairs then? You've got all your water upstairs because you did that the other night. By the time I finish this, it usually feels a bit like a workout. Oh, to the bathroom. Sorry. I read that as down. I'm just out running down every 10 minutes. Sorry for that. Ah, well, that's not very good. Hopefully you will start to feel better soon. Probably all that bottled of water that you drink, you know. Maybe you should drink good healthy tap water. Well, yeah, it could be. You're perfectly right there. In fact, you know what? I think you're perfect. I think you are right. I think I should stop. That way your stomach will get better, you know. I think it's I don't think I should continue if it's gonna cause you pain and suffering like that. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm stopping. I was waiting to see if you'd check it. Yeah, so we'll carry on with this tomorrow. I was using the power tool. It's a bit, in this particular case, easy, to get into, start to shape around these teeth and take the levels down. And we'll carry on with that tomorrow. And effectively we sort of I don't know if this will go down a little bit further, but we're starting to get in the shape now of the Gibberer itself. So they're kind of like the ears-ish. Ears are sort of done. Don't know. We might. In fact, I might actually remove this ear because it kind of doesn't look right. Just leave something there, perhaps. But yes, we're starting to shape this side, particularly come up over the top here. I'm going to see if I can do something about making this at least not, again, with the straight edge problem, same again around here. Not sure how I solve that. I may do something like get the knife out and cut nicks, just to not make it look like it's a piece of wood that's had the tops cut on it. But we'll see how it goes. So next stream will be tomorrow night, 7 PM UK time. That's GMT or UTC. They're both the same at the moment. Well, they're always more or less the same at the moment, but UK is sometimes on BST, which isn't yes yet. We're getting closer, but we're not there yet. BST, British Summertime, Daylight Saving Time. Even though GMT is kind of saving, never mind. So, if you'd like to see more of this, then push the button at the top for the follow. That way you'll get notified, and if you follow me on Twitter, I'm at Zaraganart, you will also get notified. I tweet when I go live. And occasionally if I'm going to be late or something like that, I will also tweet. And if you want to see any of the earlier broadcasts on this, there's about 2 weeks of VODs. Or what do they call them now? Reruns. Here on Twitch. If you just follow the videos link at the top of the window, it'll take you to those, and you've got a few to look at if you want to go further back than that. If you are really interested, there's the whole archive is available on YouTube, and Zaraganart, as you might by now be guessing. So, what was I going to say? I don't know. The only other thing I was going to mention, I think, is the other two buttons at the top of the screen, at the top right, which allow you to support the stream if you would care to consider or even think about doing so. That would be fantastic. And the proceeds of which go towards supporting the stream. Kind of goes with the name, I guess, in buying things like wood, tools, and broadcasting equipment. So with that, I'm going to say thank you for watching. Hope to see you on the next stream. Bye for now.